The Oklahoma City Thunder are no doubt the 2025-2026 NBA champions. Find out why next. The Oklahoma Thunder have had a bit of a weird start to the 2025-2026 regular season, obviously going to double overtime in both their first two games, which they won, and then blowing out teams like the Wizards, the Kings, to be at 6-0 right now. Like, obviously that looks good. They're doing it without Jalen Williams, which is a big upside when he comes back. But one of the biggest things about today's modern NBA is the second apron in the salary cap. This team, their core of Chet, J-Dub, and Shai is locked up through 2030. We have at least 5 seasons of these three, and then you know how the Thunder can just find pieces. They found AJ Mitchell. They have guys like Lou Dort. They trade for Alex Caruso, bringing Isaiah Hartenstein, Cason Wallace. These guys, they even have Nikola Topic, who, like, shout out Nikola Topic, is going through a cancer thing right now. Hopefully, prayers for him. Hopefully he's going to be okay. Everything's going to work out for him. But they just have a way of finding players that can contribute around their star players. Hell, even guys like Chris Youngblood look pretty good in preseason, got some run already. Barnhauser, they've got people that are just getting minutes because they're like, hey, we're up by a lot. I mean, obviously, like the first 2 games, they were double overtime, but they're winning games by so much. They're letting these young guys get minutes because their average victory is like 15 points. Again, a couple of blowouts in there does kind of help that. But they're letting these young guys get run and getting, like, you've seen a big explosion of AJ Mitchell this year, like I said before. It just makes it so easy to replace the role players on your team when you have 100 draft picks over the next couple of years, and 2, you just have this innate ability to find guys that can just fit a role perfectly. Also, how can I forget the guy that saved basketball, Aaron Wiggins, is still on the team, and as long as he's on the team, I don't really see a world they lose. The offense has got out to a big of a sluggish start because, again, missing J-Dub is going to be like pretty much your second shot creator. Your only shot creator outside of Shai is gone. They are actually 20th right now, 114 for offensive rating, which is extremely low because they were top 3, maybe even 1 last year. But they also have the #1 defense at a 104 defensive rating. So these guys are still locking up. They know they can rely on their defense to win them games and just trust Shai to bring them home. And again, it's one of the biggest reasons why when Jalen Williams comes back, who again was the second best player on the championship team last year, I have no doubt in my mind this team's going to end up back top 5 offensively. Obviously, you have to hope for a big jump from Chet's offense this year. Alex Caruso just being on the hit timely threes. Lou Dort's going to hit his threes. He's going to take a lot of threes as well. Even with having the 20th ranked offense, they have the 5th net rating in the NBA at a 9.9, only behind the Spurs, Rockets, Nuggets, and Miami Heat, surprisingly enough. Also, part of the reason I think their offense has been struggling is Isaiah Joe missed the first few games of the season, just now came back, offering more three-point shooting. I think their offense is definitely going to jump top 5 very quickly. We did get an update yesterday as we're recording that said Jalen Williams did have a second procedure done on his wrist. He's out for at least probably 2 more weeks. He's going to be reevaluated in 2 more weeks. So, I mean, yeah, I don't expect them to be undefeated by the time he comes back because that'd be, 10 to 15 games. But I do think they're going to be, again, still probably top of the Western Conference and then ready to really take off. Obviously, then, outside of Shai and really the team itself, the roster construction, is the guy Sam Presti, the general manager that for years has been, seemed like he just makes move after move that ends up being right. These guys are still in a prime position with so many young assets and so many draft picks that, again, if a star becomes available, they could go out and make a trade. Do I think they will with the team they have? No, I don't. But I feel like the Thunder always have this backup plan where it's like, hey, if we get to the trade deadline, we're like the 5 seed and things just aren't working out, boom, somebody's available, we can go get them. And I think that's like a crazy ace to have up your sleeve. But don't forget, we have not had a repeat champion since the Warriors in 2017 and 2018. So obviously the odds are not on their side, at least history in the past 10 years, that they're going to win another championship. But this team is much different than the teams we've seen before. Let's go through, right? Obviously 2017, 2018 Warriors had Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson. 2019 is the Kawhi Leonard season with the injuries to the Warriors. Hey, the Raptors won a title. That's all that matters. Kawhi Leonard moves on. The team is not quite the same. Then 2020 is the Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron and Anthony Davis in the bubble. Not saying the bubble championship in the slightest, but an older guy in LeBron James. Anthony Davis, who's just been a guy that has a lot of injury issues really all around his career. So it kind of made sense that, listen, with the conditions given, with LeBron playing probably his peak basketball form, that like we haven't seen him in that kind of form in years, Anthony Davis having a healthy season, everything kind of worked together for them to win the championship. 2021 was the Milwaukee Bucks, and really after that, Drew Holiday got older, Chris Middleton got older, they weren't, Brook Lopez got older, they really weren't able to kind of capture that magic again. And again, just with your surrounding pieces getting older, that kind of thing happens. They trade for Damian Lillard, obviously that doesn't work out. 2022, the Warriors come back with an old Draymond Green, old Klay Thompson, old Steph Curry. Andrew Wiggins is the second best player on the team. Obviously, those guys were older. They didn't have a lot ahead of them. 2023 is the Denver Nuggets, obviously led by the best player in the world, Nikola Jokic, but the team then took a downturn, losing Bruce Brown, losing so many different players, like key role players. Michael Porter Jr. is now gone as well. Just seems like, again, the second apron came around this bout in time that they kind of started losing players, that they weren't able to really build the roster around Nikola Jokic they were able to, that season. 2024 was the Boston Celtics, and a lot of people thought they'd go back-to-back last year, but obviously, injuries happened to Jason Tatum in the playoffs, and then obviously the second apron ruined this team. They lose Drew Holiday, they lose Kristaps Porzingis, they lose Al Horford, they lose so many different pieces, Luke Cornett, they lose so many different pieces off this team that it's simply just not the same team. Obviously, without Tatum as well, Jaylen Brown and the team just out there having fun. And then last year, 2025, was the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the difference between this Thunder team versus pretty much every other team I mentioned is that, one, their core is 25 years old and younger. And two, they're locked up, again, like I mentioned, for another 5 years. And three, this team has so many different draft picks that, again, they're able to keep replenishing their young talent because they are phenomenal drafters. Like I mentioned before, Nikola Jokic didn't play at all his rookie year. He's not playing right now because of what's going on with him. Thomas Sorber tore his ACL. So probably next year, they're going to have another point guard and another center adding to this rotation, because guess what? This is the last year of Isaiah Hartenstein's contract. Well, now Thomas Sorber, having a year of rehab and being around the team, the front office, is going to step in and hopefully, again, I'm not expecting him to be as good as Isaiah Hartenstein right away, but again, another year of development from Chet Holmgren. You're expecting Thomas Sorber to at least come in and be a serviceable backup big man. I think the biggest theme about this Thunder, about why I think they're going to be even better, is something they're actually doing poorly right now. They're shooting 29% from three to start this year. Again, part of that, Jalen Williams has not been there. Obviously, Isaiah Joe has not been there. But now with Isaiah Joe coming back, that should help. It's just been a rough shooting. And the reason I think it's 100% going to go up, one, because it's so bad, but 2 years ago, they were about 39%, and last year they were about 37%. They've been top 5, top 6 the past 2 years in 3% of shooting. Shai hasn't been great. Chet's not been great. Isaiah Joe's not been there. Caruso's not been great. Luke Dort's not been great. They just have not been able to shoot the ball so well. And again, I think a lot of it is like, hey, like these guys are good three-point shooters, or at least volume three-point shooters. They're going to start going in. They're going to get their second option back very, very shortly. Also, a huge key difference so far, at least to start the year, is the crunch time minutes. They've already been in more crunch time minutes, and Shai's already had more crunch time shots than all last season. Part of that, they were blowing teams out. But then 2 double overtime victories to start the season is going to make your clutch time look a little bit skewed. Right now, in the clutch so far this season, the Thunder are outscoring their opponents by almost 9 points during clutch time. That's over 2 points more than the next closest team. Also, in that 4-game sample size of the clutch minutes, they're committing 0.3 turnovers, which is third best, tie for third best, and a 13 assist to turnover ratio, which is first in almost 9 minutes of clutch time per game. And again, part of that's, 2 double overtime victories is going to, they're not going to be this close the entire season. They're going to start getting players back. They're going to start being a little bit more dominant, but they're showing early on, like, hey, the going gets tough. We can still win these games. We're not blowout merchants. We're not guys that only win because we're putting up a lot of points early and getting on ahead. No, if it comes down to win or go home, we can make the tough shots. Shai is a phenomenally clutch player and can make the shots, whether he's shooting threes, getting bumped mid-ranges, getting to the basket, or getting fouled and winning at the free throw line. And to bring it back to AJ Mitchell, a guy that maybe is in the running for most improved, 6.5 points, about 2 assists, 2 rebounds last year as a rookie. So far this year, he is averaging 18.5 points, 2 rebounds, and over a steal with a plus-minus of plus 4.5. He is stepping up and being a second creator behind Shai, what they've needed. He's a guy that I think is going to eventually take the Alex Caruso minutes as that, as he gets older and to kind of move on. Obviously, I don't think he's the same level defender, but I think he's a guy that come in, can move the ball, can play good defense, and can obviously score at a much higher level than Alex Caruso can. And again, this team that has an MVP, a DPOY candidate in Chet Holmgren, and an All-NBA player in Jalen Williams can now have a most improved player and a backup guard, AJ Mitchell. Listen, I understand the criticisms. People are going to call Shai a free throw merchant. He had like 40 free throws through the first 2 games of the season, but the last 4 games, he's had 14 total. He's getting to the basket. He's hitting his mid-ranges. He's shooting his threes, hitting some of his threes. He's still a dominant offensive guard just because he's able to get to the free throw line, which, by the way, all dominant scorers in NBA history have been able to score at the free throw line. He's had 30 plus points in 4 of those games that he's only had 14 total free throws. This guy is not only scoring because he's getting to the free throw line, he's able to get to the free throw line to already expound and get better at being one of the best scorers we've ever seen, at least through this stretch of the past couple of years. Also, by the way, only turning the ball over 7 times in those 4 games. He's been not even getting to the line, but he's being able to score the ball, being able to pass the ball, playmaker without turning the ball over. This might be the best version of Shai we've seen so far. And again, they have an all-NBA guy in Jalen Williams just sitting in the background waiting to make his return. Obviously, they're on pace to go 82-0, but it's not going to happen. Nobody's ever went 82-0 in history. Obviously, you guys know that. You look at this team and it's like, where do you really see things going wrong? Obviously, you're going to have off nights, you're going to lose games, but you're the #1 defense. You're, again, 20th offense, missing multiple players that are coming back very shortly. Where do you see the downfall of this team being? And I personally just cannot see one. I mean, obviously injuries, but even last year, Chet Holmgren missed a huge chunk of the season. Isaiah Hartenstein missed a huge chunk of the season. They were still able to make do with Jalen Williams playing the 5. I think as long as the team has Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they can put in almost anybody at those other spots, as long as they're decent defenders, and this team is going to win. And I think that's a recipe we haven't really seen before. Obviously, you look back in history, like the James Harden being one of the most heliocentric players of all time, didn't really win a championship because just in playoffs, that kind of brand of basketball doesn't really tend to work out. But I think we're seeing now with Shai kind of taking his playmaking to another level that I don't think there's any way to stop him. One-on-one coverage, he's going to get past you. He's either going to get bumped and go to the free throw line, or he's going to score the ball. If you double team him, he's able to make that pass now to guys that can shoot the ball in case someone else. And AJ Mitchell so far this season, Isaiah Joe's going to be back. I just don't think this team really has a weakness right now, again, outside of health. And that's something that every team is dealing with right now. I just don't see any reason this team doesn't win another championship. Just to conclude this, you know what? The Thunder have the best player in the world, arguably, with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a MVP, probably going to be another MVP candidate this year. A Defensive Player of the Year candidate in Chet Holmgren. They have an All-NBA player who has yet to play yet in Jalen Williams. They've had a rising star in AJ Mitchell, who could be in Most Improved Player talks. They have Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, 2 of the most dominant perimeter defenders in the NBA. And they have 2 young guys in Nikola Topic and Thomas Sawyer that have not even played yet because they haven't need to or with injuries. I think this team is incredibly dominant. The #1 defense in the NBA, 20th offense, again, like we talked about plenty of times, with multiple players coming back. The 5th best net rating, even though they have such a bad offense. One of the best coaches in the NBA, one of the best general managers in the NBA that has no problem making picks or trading things, and they always have the ace up their sleeve of a big time trade if things are falling apart. Sure, some fans aren't going to want to say this, they're not going to hear this, because you got to think back of the Steph Curry Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant, but this is arguably one of the greatest teams we've seen of all time. Now, I understand the Bulls in the 90s, I understand the Golden State Warriors, I understand the Spurs, I get it, I understand, or even the 3-peat Lakers, I get it. This team is very, very early on into their dynasty, and I'm going to call it a dynasty because this is another 5 years at least of this core. This team is going to win at least 3 championships with this core. I am calling it right now. They've already had 1. It wouldn't surprise me if they went back-to-back, and then they have 2 to 3 more years to win 1 more. I don't see a world where we don't look back at this Thunder's team and say, hey, yeah, those guys, they put an end to the parity era, because we've been in parity for 10 years, which I've liked. I've really, really liked. But I just don't see a world they don't win. Hope you guys enjoyed the return, the season 2 of Cloud Report. I'm trying a little bit different this year. Again, if you liked it, let me know. If you didn't, also let me know. I'm only open to trying new things, you know what I mean? But again, thank you for watching. When we're to 1,000 subscribers, so please go down and hit that button. Most of you that watch don't subscribe, which I understand, but I would really appreciate if you just hit that button. But I'll see you guys later. Peace.